Hey all, welcome to this YouTube video. In this video, we'll discuss about the permutation problem. So the problem is we are given a string and we have to find all possible permutation of the given string and print the same. So how do we go and solve this problem? I'll encourage you to try to solve this problem before moving on to the solution.
So let's talk about how we can solve this problem. So let's write the given string A, B, C. And now what we'll do is we'll initialize two pointers, L to the start of the string and R to an element past the last element. So that is the end of the string. And then what we'll do is we'll initialize a temporary pointer I. Now what we'll do is in the first step, we'll swap the elements that is pointed by our pointers L and I. In this case, both are pointing to A. So if we swap them, we'll get A, B, C, the same element. Now what we can do is we'll increment I to B position. So if we do so, if we swap the elements pointed by I and L, then in this case we will get B, A, C. And again, if we increment I to C, I will point here. And then if we swap L and I, then we'll get C, B, A. So what we have essentially done is we have three elements or three characters in our given string and we have three positions. So here's a question. So in the first position, how many elements can take this position? So A can take it, or B can take it, and then C can take it. So three characters can take that first position. So as you see, we have branched it into three parallel paths, and in the first character, we have set it to A, B, and C in the first one. Now, since we have set it, we will not be concerned with that particular character. We'll be concerned only with BC, AC, and BA. Now, if we continue that same process with this string, so that is, we'll initialize a pointer L and a pointer R, which will signify the end, which will help us write the terminating condition, and here L and R. Similarly for that, and we'll have a pointer I. So what this pointer will do is we'll swap the element pointed by I and L. If we do so, in this case there is no change. And if I points to C now, I and B will get swapped. So A is fixed, C will come here, and B will be here. So similarly, if we do for this, I will point to A, and if you swap the elements at I and L, then we'll get B, A, C. But if we swap the element after incrementing I to C, then we'll get A and C will get swapped. So we'll get B, C, A. Similarly for this, we'll get C, B, A and C, A, B if we swap the elements. That's it. So we have essentially found out all possible permutation for a given string ABC. Now let's learn how we can code this out.
So before we write the code, notice that while explanation, I followed a breadth first approach. But to write code in that fashion would be quite difficult. So what we'll do is we'll code it with recursion. So recursion will be depth first. So that is to start from ABC. Then we will swap and we found a alternate path, that is again ABC. Then we'll print ABC. Then we'll come back, find another alternative, that is A, C, B, and then print it. And then we'll go back, backtrack, and then we'll find another alternative. Then we'll print, and in this order we'll write the code.
Hey guys, now let's code it out. So in order to code, I'll first include the preprocessed directives already for you, and now we'll define the function. So this function returns nothing, so void. I'll call the function name as permute. It will take a string S and two pointers, that is int L and int R. So after that, what we have to do is in any recursive function, we have to write the terminating condition or the base case. So here our condition is when L reaches the end, that is R. Now if that happens, what we have to do is we have to print the string. So we'll print out string, we'll give a line here, and then we will return. And if it passes this, then we'll take a for loop. Why do we need a for loop? We have to iterate the elements pointed from L to R. So while I is still less than R, I'll have to increment I. Now what we'll do inside the for loop is, first step is to swap the element pointed by I and the element pointed by L. And next step will be to call in the function. Now notice that the string's length will decrease. That is how we'll do that. We'll pass in the same string, but our indices will increase. So L will be L plus 1 and R will remain the same. So if we do this, we have finished our permutation function. Now notice that how does the length decrease at each stages. So let's say we have a string A, B and C here, and first L is pointing to this location A, and our R is somewhere after this. So R is pointing at this location, and now if you see the string length, it is ABC. Now L will at each, whenever the function is called within the for loop, it will point here. So the length of the string is BC. That's it. So it will keep on decreasing, and that's why we say we'll do the same thing, and it can be broken down into sub problems, and it will be eventually we'll get all the result. So now to initialize it, I'll call the int main function. I'll define it. We are here, we'll call the permute function, and we'll pass in the string. To experiment, let's pass in ABC. Our L would be 0 initially, and R will be the length of the string. So length here, I'll hard code it, but you can find it in other ways. So 3 will be our length. So let's run this program. All right, we have the result from ABC, ACB, BAC, BCA and CAB and etc.